here we are again, going out on a foggy morning, pre-dawn, to the New Forest. I've been up quite a long time now. It's 6 o'clock. Dawn is about 6:30ish. We've got cold temperatures outside. I've been struggling to decide where to go this morning. Lots of options, lots of choice, and I couldn't make my mind up. So I've wasted a lot of time in the vehicle, on my iPad, looking at various locations, and I was on the iPad last night before I went to bed, looking at various locations. It's been quite a while since I last did one of these. We've had a period of rather flat, bland light, just blanket of cloud over the south coast week after week. The last week or so we have had sort of different weather, but it's been the opposite extreme. Totally clear skies, very bland, clear, no interest in the skies at all. Hasn't really been that encouraging to go out when it's not interesting conditions. I understand that some people are working full time, they can only get maybe to go out after work or before work, or they can only go out on the weekends, so you grab every opportunity. But since I've retired, I can basically go out pretty much whenever, most of the time. And one option is to say, right, I'm going to go out every Wednesday, regardless of what the conditions are, or whatever other day in the week it is. Or the other option is to basically decide to go out when the conditions are looking promising, or looking interesting, shall we say. And very flat, bland, or a blanket of cloud with flat, bland light isn't that inspiring to me. And neither is totally blue, clear skies is not that interesting either. You kind of want a little bit of both. Or, as we've got today, mist. Coming off the M27 at junction 1, which is the New Forest Lyndhurst turnoff. I think I'm going to head towards Fritham. Haven't done a photography shoot there. When I did that long walk just after Christmas, one of the locations I could have started from was Fritham, but I didn't go for that one. I went for Cadnam Pool. So we've got quite a large puddle, and we've got these line of trees in the mid-ground which are reflecting in the puddle, and we've got the mist. It's not a fantastic shot, but I think I'm gonna take a shot here. Right, so I'm gonna go for the 50mm GF50. We're shooting on the Fujifilm GFX 50R. Right, this is why we have wellies in the New Forest. It is quite often this wet and damp in large areas, so I'm adjusting my tripod to get it as low as possible so I can try and get as much of that reflection in as possible. Right, we'll move forward a little bit, try and get in the worst part of the puddle. Just focusing up, manually focusing up. I think I'm going to take two shots here. The first one is at 60th a second, we're at 400 ISO and it's f11, 2 second shutter delay. And the next one, I'm going to take it at 1/25th of a second to try and bring out some detail in the sky. I don't know which one I'll prefer to use. That'll do for that one. Hopefully the camera hasn't got too wet. We'll move on, see what else we can find. I've kind of walked through the undergrowth here. Decided to come over this way to take a close look at that middle tree that's leaning over. Might be a shot there somewhere. Just decided to walk around the pool just to see if there's any other angles. Basically back onto the trees I was photographing earlier. For example, that tree over there. Yeah, and the trees behind look quite good as well. So I'm going to leave that quite low. I think this is going to be the GFX 50R and the GF50 lens. Okay, so we're sticking at ISO 400, f8, and we're at 1/25th. We're going to go down to 2/50th because we're slightly overexposed there on a little bit of detail in the sky. 2 second delay timer. think this one's going to be the 110, not the 50 this time. Did move around a bit to try and best position that tree. Manually focusing, so at 400 ISO, f11, 60th of a second. Right, have a treat and then we'll be on our way again. Really beneficial on these early starts. I think we're quite high up here in terms of the New Forest, and I can see sort of down that way and down that way it's dipping down. It looks like the mist is going down into the valleys now. I think we're going to go back to the road and head along that road and continue that way though, which is on a ridge. But the road's this way. Okay, so I've looked around this tree a little bit, and I think sort of somewhere around here is where I'm going to want to shoot from. Take the backpack off. I don't know what I want to do with the tripod at the moment. In terms of height, this would definitely be the 50mm for sure. Probably not even wide enough. Trouble is if I go too far back, I've got these trees in the way, so I can't get further away from what I want. What I can do is shoot sort of here, or this side maybe. The other thing I'm mindful of with this is that I think it's this tree here, it's got branches coming down, so I kind of don't want those in the way. Yeah, okay, maybe here. So I'm just going to get my head levelled. I think I'm going to go for a pano because the lens isn't as wide as I'd like. So f11, I'm just going to focus on the, try to focus about the midway down, and I want to do about 50% overlap to help with the stitching. I want to kind of get as much of that in as possible. Switching things around a little bit, I've been videoing with this lens here. This is an anamorphic lens, but I'm interested in using it for stills as well as video. And where this is a 50mm lens, the GFX I've been shooting with was also a 50mm lens. This is probably wider because it's an anamorphic, so it squashes up the view into your 35mm size, and then when you process it you squish it back out, so you end up with a very filmic 2.4:1 aspect ratio, so nearly X-pan but not quite. And that's one of the ideas for this lens, is to try and get closer to a digital X-pan. So I'm going to go to f8. I'm going to have to drop my shutter speed down to about 30th of a second. It shows me slightly underexposed, but that's okay. Basically the composition is this tree here and its fallen branch. Now that is squished, you can see the edges cut off, so we've got sort of circular corners. But when I unsquish that, no, you need a small crop. I don't know if you can hear this, if the microphone's picking up. I think that might be a song thrush. Right, so I got the GFX 50R with the GF50 lens. This area, I did a video on a very long walk with very few photographs in it, where I set off right the way over to my left and behind me at Cadnam Pool, and you had to go down a hill, up a hill, very boggy and muddy, up a hill, over and then back down again, and then around behind that house, and I popped out over in the far tree line there. and then walked in front of this house and then up this path. And as I was walking this way from Fritham, I was looking at some of the trees sitting there thinking, this looks slightly familiar. But I wasn't 100% sure. And then as I got to this path, it became more and more familiar. And then I came down here and thought, yep, this is linking up with the walk I did previously. I'm going to be doing a landscape panorama. Sky's not that interesting, so I don't need to include too much of the sky. I've leveled my head, so when I rotate my camera, it's going to stay on the level, so I'm not panning up into the sky or into the ground. Should make stitching easier. And I want to get this road down to the house as a leading line into the left-hand side of the shot, and I'll pan around to that tree. Okay, I'm at f11, 1/25 of a second. We've got the 2-second timer. I'm going to come to the side. Right, so you can see the details. Now, when I'm panning, I want about 50% overlap. Don't think we've got any what I would consider crackers this morning, but it's been a very pleasant morning. Well, the additional car parking is starting to fill up, and the main car park, which was totally empty when I arrived this morning, has also got a number of cars in it. Oh, that was a rather good morning. It's now 11:30. I've been out since dawn, which was, I don't know, 6:30ish, sunburnt through the mist. Didn't get any images that I kind of like really super excited about, but you don't always get them. But just a really pleasant morning, just very peaceful, tranquil. So yeah, good. Thank you very much for watching. If you got through to the end, well done. And hopefully we'll be out again next week with a new video. Cheers all.